What's up, everybody? Before we start on today's special good old steak on the grill, I want to show you a little tip. It's something I just got I kind of stumbled on one day. This thing here is called a little tube smoker. You can find these on Amazon real cheap or at Walmart. I'll put a link in the bottom where you can find this little tube at. And basically what I'm doing, this is a little cheat. Give it a try. If nothing else, just try it. And what I do is I've got a bag of pellets that go in a pellet smoker, which I don't own one, but I got the pellets, and you find your favorite. I got a little blend of hickory and cherry in here, and I'm filling it about that full. It's not going to be a full-on smoke or anything. It's going to smoke for about 30 minutes is all I really need out of it. So I've got it filled up about 3/4 of the way, and what I'm going to do is put a little fire starter in there with it, and I'm going to ignite it and put it in the back of the grill. So let's do that. All right, as you can see, I've got my fire starter there. I'm just going to reach in there and get it going, and I'm going to push it up against those pellets in there. Let it get going good, and I'm going to put it back over here in the corner of the grill, and I'm going to let that burn off for about 15-20 minutes until that little fire starter gets all burned up. So I don't want the smell of or the taste of wax on the food. I want the taste of the pellets on there. So, and this is kind of like a cold smoke, but not really. All I'm doing is exposing the ribeyes to some smoke for about 20 to 30 minutes to give them a little extra flavor. So something I've learned early on in YouTube land, things are controversial, and when you come to steaks, that's like saying which is better, Ford versus Chevy or Mopar. There's all kinds of opinions on it, and let me just boil it down to this. You do what makes you happy, okay? So if you like your steaks burnt, fine. If you like them rare, fine. If you like them dripping, fine. It don't matter. But the thing is, all I'm trying to do is provide a kind of a beginner's how-to on this thing. I am not an expert by any means, but let me give you a little background. When I was growing up, my dad, we couldn't really afford steaks that much. So growing up, my dad would take steaks, put them in foil, put some potatoes in there with them, wrap them up, put them in the oven, and just cook them that way. And he also had false teeth, so he needed them to be real soft and tender, and they were delicious. I mean, as a child, that was a real special treat. So let's make a real simple steak today. You can argue and debate on which cut of meat you like best. T-bones, ribeye, sirloin, they're all good to me. But today we've got ribeyes. They were on sale at my local store. They're not prime and all that good stuff. You know, they're not $60 steaks by any means. I'm a blue collar dude, all right? So I get what's on sale and I stock up. But let's look at the steaks and let's show you how I season them up real quick. Okay, so real simple stuff here. Nothing. This is just Himalayan salt. You can use whatever kind you want. This is kind of coarse, so I just kind of like to just give it a couple hits of that. I like cracked pepper, and I do about a medium grind on that, and just pepper it up real nice, like that. And then I also like, this is just my preference, I like this Buttery Steakhouse by Kinder's. If you like some extra seasoning, that's fine, but my wife and I, we enjoy this a little bit, so I just sprinkle some of that on as well. Now I'm going to do the other side exactly the same way, and I'll let you look at the meat whenever I flip it over. You can see what it is, and I'll show you a few things there. So let's flip it over. You can see this cut of ribeye here. When you're shopping for meat, you're looking for marbling, which is these little veins, like not this big chunk of fat, but these little pieces of fat in there. The more of that you can find real fine in there, the better. Like I said, you're probably better off going to, if you want quality meat, go ahead and go to your butcher shop and tell them you want a good ribeye. But like I said, this is what you get on sale at the local market a lot of times, but I don't think there's such thing as a bad steak, so we'll run with it. I'm going to finish seasoning this up. the smoke is, the behind me is just right. This just came out of the fridge. I didn't let it get to room temp yet because it's going to come up to room temp in the smoker over there, or the grill. And like I said, that whole step is optional, okay? That's optional. I think it's pretty awesome though, so that's the way I like to do them sometimes. Sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I just skip that step and season them this way and throw them on the grill. So, and the only other ingredient I have besides salt, pepper, and my special seasoning is a pat of butter on them. Right at the end, I'll throw a pat of butter on them and have some delicious steaks. As you can see, there's just a little bit of smoke, so it just smells like delicious hickory and cherry. And what we're gonna do is just put this whole tray in here for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We're gonna say 15 minutes. So we're gonna let it sit in there and get a little smoke bath. So it's important, while that's in there getting this little smoke bath, it's not really cooking. It's kind of like a real low temp, so you can see right there it's not even registering on the thing. We're just exposing it to the smoke. Hey, while we're watching the magic take place, let me just remind you to hit that thumbs up, if nothing else, and let me know you're there. And if you really like this kind of content and want to see more, subscribe to the channel. I'm always into something, so we'll be whipping up something next week as well. All right, we're 15 minutes into this little smoking here, and I'm gonna pull the lid up. And these are still cold, I mean, you know, but they're getting exposed to the smoke. So I'm gonna flip them over and let this side get a little exposed to it and go 15 more minutes. These have been going for about 30 minutes, and as you see, I want to point out, still pretty cool grill. Matter of fact, we're going to open it up here and look inside. Yep, there they are. Got a little wisp of smoke, but I'm still touching these, and they're just now getting almost to room temperature. Actually still a little cool. So I'm going to just pull this pan out. I'm going to fire up the grill, and up to now the grill's not been on. I mean, this is cold. The only thing's been going is smoke, so I'm going to fire the grill up, and I'm going to get it as hot as I can get it. It takes my grill about 10 minutes to get blazing hot, so I'm going to wrap these up for a few minutes and bring them back out here and throw them on. I've got my grill preheated as hot as it's going to get, pretty much. About, it's just on high, that's all I can tell you. Now we're going to throw these steaks on, and I've worked out a timing system on my grill because I've experimented. You'll have to figure this out, and this is probably the controversial part, and how long to cook your steaks. But I'm going to put a little chart right here that you can look at about temps for steaks, and so you can see that according to this chart that 125 degrees is considered rare, and this is for the center probe. When you probe it, go to the center. Medium rare is at about 130, medium is at 140, medium well is at 150, and of course well done is 160 to 5,000 degrees. Okay, so you can see the different temperatures, and you have to figure out which one you like. For me, I like mine about medium well, somewhere in there, but that's just me. That's the way I like it. I'm sorry if you like yours raw, that's cool. I don't have a problem with that, but that's a temp guide. So, and like I said, I've got my grill figured out to where mine's about 2 minutes this way, and then I'll crisscross it 2 minutes that way, flip them over, and then do the same thing, and then usually it comes out about perfect for me, but I always probe it just in case I need to run it a little bit longer or get them off a little bit quicker. So, and these are pretty thick cut ribeyes, so you have to take that into account also. Let's quit talking about it and get them on the grill. All right, we are 2 minutes in, and at this time I'm just going to slide over to this side, cross them up a little bit, just like that. And go for another 2 minutes. So we are halfway through the cook. Now we're going to just flip them over. Oh, look at that. Well, that and there come apart a little bit, but that's okay. It's going to be delicious either way. All right, crossing them one last time just to get those nice little marks on it. And I move it back and forth from this side to that side just because this side's hot, that side's cooler. When you put the steaks on it, it cools it down a few degrees. We're going to finish them off here. And before we do though, the last step is to go ahead and throw you a pat of butter on top. And if you want to add some garlic seasoning or something like that to it, that's also good. But for just the last few minutes, I'm gonna run them down. All right, I've got it like I like it. Got about 150 on that one, so I'm gonna take that one off. That one's gonna be for my wife. This one's a little bit thicker, so it's not quite at 150 yet, but I'm probably gonna go ahead and let it cook for just a few more minutes, or for about a minute maybe. So let's get this one off. That is a big one, and she will cut that in half and eat it twice, okay? And so this one's a big one as well, and I'll do the same thing. This one here is pretty much cut itself in half, but just because of the way the fat runs through there, but give that a few more minutes. All right, my friends, this has been resting about 5 minutes. See the butter and the juices from the steak over there. That's real good if you got some cauliflower, or if you eat potatoes or whatever. That's good stuff for that. Now, but anyway, let's dig in and see how this thing turned out. I know it's going to be delicious. Nice little char marks. Looks good. Let's go for it. So we're going to cut into this and give it a quick bite. Just going to cut straight through the middle. Like I said, I'm going to save half of this for another day. Probably leftovers tomorrow. I'm going to cut through. And this one here turned out more on the medium well, but that's all right. I'm going to cut me off a bite. All right, friends, moment of truth time. I've got me a good little bite there. Dip it in some butter. And here's to you. Listen to me. I know this is a plain Jane cook. Anybody with a grill and a steak can cook a steak, but now this is what makes this special. Man, that has got some great smoky flavor to it, along with a great taste of the steak. It's not real strong, it's just kind of an accent, just a little bit of it. But man, it sets it apart than just plain Jane, okay? If you want to skip that smoking step, that's fine. But I promise you, you want to impress your friends, give it a try. Tell me what you think about it. I love it, man. Hey, until next time, have a blessed weekend, and we'll get back out here on the porch soon.